What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, I'm on my light drive home now where you can actually see me, so I'm going to hit you with the drive time. Questions about maintenance after hitting your end goal on a transformation. Quite simple, this one. First thing we're going to address though is that end goal, and I think the end goal is quite often not where people think it is. Now, the first thing that the majority of people are going to need to do, or going to want to do on a fat loss transformation, or any sort of transformation rather, is to lose fat and to get down to a point of body composition where you are nice and lean, where you have a desirable level of body fat that you can maintain, that you're comfortable with. But also, usually at that point, you will then start to try and build muscle in certain places, maybe make certain things bigger and rounder, or other parts of you smaller. This is kind of the bodybuilding point. Now, it's important to get lean first to ensure we can do that with more ease. The leaner you are, the better you're going to be able to use your nutrition to your advantage. If you're carrying a lot more fat, it's very easy to make mistakes with your nutrition and not really understand whether they're having a negative effect on you. Your nutrient partitioning, your body's ability to put nutrients where they need to go, is also diminished when you're carrying more body fat. So, although we're on our way to a particular end goal, a particular body goal, it's important to understand that that's not always the end of your fat loss goal. The fat loss goal, getting down to a particular body fat level, is usually the stepping stone, the first milestone towards your end goal, because you get lean, then you use your food and more bodybuilding style techniques to shape your body in the way that you want, okay? So, let's simplify this a bit and say that your only goal is to get lean. You don't want to change the shape of your body in any way, shape or form. You don't want a bigger bum, you don't want smaller thighs or better abs or anything like that. You just want to get lean. How easy that is to maintain and the path you then take to maintaining that is based entirely on how you got there. If, and this is what most people do, and it's what I try to teach you not to do on the Live Up plan, if you go to extremes, you pull away loads and loads of carbohydrates, or you pull away loads and loads of calories, and you do 4 hours of cardio a week, and you do 6 training sessions a week, the more extreme you go on any one or a combination or all of these factors, the harder it is going to be to maintain when you go out the other side, because it is impossible to maintain that activity level. It's probably impossible to maintain that level of low calories, that amount of cardio, etc. So if you go to massive extremes on the way down, you are really going to struggle to maintain. Quite simple. So what is the solution then to that? It's to allow yourself more time on the way in, or to diet down more intelligently. That means creating a smaller calorie deficit over a longer period of time, or maybe not even necessarily a longer period of time, but certainly a calorie deficit that you can remain compliant on. Because remember, the majority of you fuck up on your diets because you take way too many calories out too soon. On the Live Up plan, we take them out little by little to find the optimal point where you're losing fat as fast as possible, but without having removed loads and loads of food. So maintaining when you get there is much more simple if you've gone down there in a sensible way, which on the Live Up plan, in theory, you have. Now, once you're at that point, irrelevant of whether it's the Live Up plan or some other plan, you want to try and then start reverse dieting. So we've hit our body fat goal, we want to get down there lean. The next point is to see how much food we can eat whilst maintaining that level of body fat, because we all want to be in a position where we can eat plenty of calories, really enjoy our food, really enjoy our life, but whilst maintaining the body that we want. So we've got down to say 10% as a male, 12% as a female. We're looking good, we're feeling great. We're at whatever, 1500 calories a day for female, 1800 calories a day for male, fairly low. Then what you would look at doing is you gradually reintroduce foods bit by bit, and which macronutrient, whether that be carbs or fat, is going to be based on what you've taken the most away. What do you have a lot left of to put back in? So what I would usually say at that point is you start to reintroduce calories at about 100 calories a week, and you watch your body composition. Increase calories, did you put on fat? No, cool. Increase calories again the next week, did you put on fat? No, cool. Increase calories, increase calories, increase calories. Now there will come a point where maybe you soften up, and it's important to understand that it's about consistent softening, not a day where you're carrying a bit of water or something like that. You need to see, have you put on fat over a week or two? If that happens and you think, okay, hang on a minute, I'm eating a good amount of food now, I've definitely softened up a bit, hold there for 2 weeks, because what may well happen is your metabolism will speed up and you'll start to lean out again. Don't suddenly think for a couple of days if you've softened up that you need to bring your food back. You don't. But if your metabolism doesn't speed up and you do continue to gradually get fatter, at that point what I recommend you do is maybe remove the 100 calories and drop back to the week before, because we know you probably weren't in a surplus there, you weren't gaining fat, and then you hold there for a little while. That's going to be the best bet. By that time you should be at a good amount of calories, especially if you're training, especially if you're doing some form of exercise, especially if you're active. You're going to be able to sustain a good amount of calories going in, a good amount of nutrients. The other thing that's worth noting is that when you are leaner, you should also be probably increasing your protein just a little bit. Maybe that would be the first macronutrient you want to increase slightly, purely because the leaner you are, the less potential energy your body has stored in fat. Therefore, it's more likely to try and break down muscle tissue in order to create glucose to fuel the body, or glycogen rather, to fuel the body. So increase protein once you've got to the bottom, or as you're getting leaner, not even necessarily when you get to the bottom, but as you're getting leaner. Then once you're at your fat loss goal, gradually start to build up the other macronutrients to comfortable levels where you're enjoying your food, you're enjoying your day. And if you really want to push it, try to eat as much as possible while staying as lean as possible, because then that gives you the freedom to enjoy different types of food beyond a baseline of good and healthy food, natural foods, etc. Okay? With regards to training, again, exactly the same is true. I've always said, and you hear me say on the Live Up Plan all the time, do as little as you possibly can to get the result you want. Because if you go into the gym 6 days a week, but you could have got the exact same result from 3 days a week, not only are you wasting 3 days on the way there, eventually you're not going to want to train 6 days a week. Whereas if you've done 3 days a week, really easy to maintain. Add cardio only as you want and you enjoy or see fit. If you don't need to add it, don't add it. Same with intervals, all of these things. You see the point here, the harder you go on the way in, the harder it's going to be to come back out. Take it really easy, make it manageable, and reverse dieting is simple. Once you hit your fat loss goal, that's when you're going to either reverse diet to maintain that, or if you decide, right, no, I want to be able to build muscle, I want to be able to shape my bum, I want a bigger bum, I want bigger arms, I want this, that, and the other. Again, your goal is to put yourself in a surplus, to build up calories as high as you possibly can. If you're trying to build a good amount of muscle, I would try and push carbs up quite a lot as well, especially on your training days. That should be a priority. And again, you're trying to gain maybe a half a kilo to a kilo a month of overall body weight whilst maintaining your physique and your leanness. If you start to lose that, that's when problems occur and you just need to bring it back a little bit. But that is kind of the way to look at it. It's as harder and the more stupid you are on the way down, the harder it is to maintain and go back up. If you're sensible, if you do everything right to start with, you're not going to have a problem maintaining. You just need to be patient on the reverse dieting. And again, if you're on the way down and you've introduced things like carb cycling, this, that, and the other, which we do a lot of on the Live Up Plan, your calories won't be that low anyway, because we integrate massive refeeds, we integrate huge carb cycles by the time you're getting down to low levels of body fat. So over your average, so over the week, your calories are not actually that low generally. So it depends on person to person. Be smart on the way in, it's going to make it easy on the way out, and aim your goal over time, once you've got to your fat loss goal, is to stay at that level of body fat whilst eating as much as you possibly can over time. That's the idea. Give it a go.